night she'll be throwing the bash. I need a woman who'll treat me right. I need a woman who love and squeeze me tight. I need a woman. I need a woman tonight. I need a woman I can call my own. She got the love, the blues, and she'll buy me home. She'll tie me up at night and make me say, when the sun comes up, we'll do it all again. I need a woman who love and squeeze me tight. I need a woman who wanna treat me right. I need a woman. I need a woman tonight. Trash and stock arrangements, paying our dues, scraping for corn and rock good blues. Band is kicking, playing it tight, all getting high till the morning light. Wielding my axe all night long, selling my soul for the price of a song. Any inspiration comes my way, fades like a dream by the break of day. Working my way throughout the night, moving through the shadows and ducking the light. Growls, hardball lights grow low, screaming out the high notes, losing control. Moving through the shadows late Friday night, guitar burning, holding back the light. Playboys and gals changing back in the suits, ducking the light, a last pull from a hooch, cleaning the streets, hosing the drunks, sleeping it off in the back of the truck. Working my way throughout the night, moving through the shadows and ducking the light. Working my way throughout the night, moving through the shadows and ducking the light.
Well, all right, all right, all right. What's going on, everybody? Oh, forgot to turn the microphone on. I haven't even smoked yet. I was just saying I'm going to smoke a bowl. I didn't do that yesterday. I was trying to save my lungs a little bit. Did the edible thing yesterday, and that just didn't do it for me. So, yesterday I said I'm going to wait until the show to smoke, and that's what I've done. I've got this bowl here. I got to pack this bad boy up. I'm going to smoke this big fat motherfucking bowl. And I got a little jetpack over here. Jetpack are these half-gram pre-rolled joints that are infused with keef. They're pretty awesome. They're like $9. Get a little jetpack for $9. I was talking to a friend of mine that I hadn't spoken to in a long time, and he was a big pothead just like me. You know, we were talking. He was like, "Oh, I'd get up to take a leak in the middle of the night and smoke a bowl," and I was like, "I can relate." And he told me years ago, he's like, "Yeah, every time," because I asked him like, "Hey, you still smoking pot?" He's like, "No, man." He goes, "Every time I'd go to smoke or go to buy weed, instead I would take the cash that I was going to use for weed and I'd shove it in this drawer." And then after like a year, I had like 30 grand in there. And he's like, "So, yeah," he goes, because I said, "I don't even really get high anymore." He's like, "Yeah, I was in the same boat." But I don't know. I can't imagine quitting altogether, but I think I got to scale way back for my wallet, for my throat, for my lungs, my chest, the whole thing. And also just so I can get high so that it actually does something. So this is a good plan. Wait until I have something to do, like the show. You know, I'm not funny without weed. So I got to, smoke the weed. Oh, now I'm funny. Man, I just took a leak and I think I already have to take another one. Let's see. That's funny. Oh, that is very funny. Sorry, got distracted. There's nobody fucking here anyway. There's like one of you. So as people pour in here, I gotta take another leak. Oh wait, I'll wait, and then I'll take a leak in a minute here. Getting all situated. So today, in terms of like trending stories and shit, there's not a lot changing. I got some stuff here for us though. We'll have some fun tonight. Today, Thursday. Typically, Thursday is the last show of the week. Sometimes I do one on Fridays. But he was shaking free of Bust Label. Now his season's over. What? All right, let's see what we get here. Uh-oh. Massive COVID break. Where outbreak is not. Oh, I was gonna say it looked like In and Out. Yeah, it makes sense. Being out here in California. The affected In-N-Out burgers are in Colorado, though, actually. Huh. I haven't been to In-N-Out in so long. It's so crazy. This Leffler chick has gotten acknowledged her defeat. Let's see. Oh, so she conceded. She seems. I know she's a wacko, but she didn't vote to oppose the certification of the ballots after the attack on the Capitol, and now she's conceding. So she's not as crazy as Trump. I don't know if that's quite the barometer you want to use. This is kind of funny. It says, "Fucking terrorists, athletes speak out after Capitol attack." Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't call them terrorists. Let's be real. We can't. We got to stop doing this. We got to stop calling everybody we don't like Nazis and the most extreme words for people that If you're going to call them terrorists, what the fuck is Antifa? And what's Black Lives Matter? Well, then again, I do believe BLM is full of domestic terrorists, so never mind. Maybe you're right. Maybe they are terrorists. Elon Musk is the richest man in the world now. I saw that. New COVID travel advisory. Californians told to stay within 120 miles of home. Half of COVID cases spread from people without symptoms. The baby reportedly arrested while shopping on Rodeo. I don't know what a DaBaby is. Your name's DaBaby? I would carry a gun too. If somebody called me DaBaby, I'd shoot him. DaBaby? What a fucking stupid name. What's your rap name? I'm DaBaby. Oh, you want your little pacifier baby? Does your little baby need his diaper changed? What a fucking douchebag. He was shopping in Beverly Hills on Rodeo, and a Gucci security guard notified police about a man who appeared to have a handgun in his waistband while walking down the street with a group of men. All that money, and you can't buy a holster and conceal it? Authorities arrived shortly, surrounded DaBaby's vehicle as he was about to pull out. Then they gave him a ticket because he's a baby and he shouldn't be driving a car. The rapper and his three friends were detained as they searched the car. Handgun was reportedly found inside the vehicle. And DaBaby, wah, wah, was subsequently booked on a misdemeanor charge of carrying a loaded firearm. What a fucking dummy. Carrying a gun you're not supposed to carry in a city that's impossible to get a concealed carry permit, and then you don't know how to conceal it properly with a holster. That's a guy that, he's shopping on Rodeo. What is that? His name is DaBaby, and he's shopping on Rodeo. His gun, I'm sure, was all for looks anyway. He was arrested in Miami over a money dispute about a year ago with the show promoter. He poured apple juice in the promoter and still an $80, stole $80 and a credit card and an iPhone. He'd only received 20 grand for a gig when they'd agreed on 30. Hey man, I gotta say I'm on DaBaby's side on this one. I know what that looks like. I know what it's like when a promoter wants to try to fuck you. Please stop talking about that weak ass 48 hours spent in jail and that failed attempt to break my spirits and interrupt my path. Wah! Don't allow yourself to be used by janky promoters and lazy ass grown men itching for the opportunity to file a lawsuit and they won't win. DaBaby. Wah! How does he rap? My name is DaBaby. I go goo goo ga. Goo goo ga. Rah. Everybody say ya. Goo goo ga. Everybody say ya. Say, I need to go party. Not party. I need to go party. I'm potty training. I'm DaBaby. And I'm potty training. By my shitty music, I'm a douchebag. I'm a dumb cunt. I'm DaBaby. I'm a big faggot. What a fucking jerk off. DaBaby. I got your DaBaby. Fucking losers. So many fucking loser musicians. Not even musicians. Where the fuck what happened to the real rappers, the real rock stars, the real blues musicians, the real country musicians? Where are the fucking people with hearts and souls and grit, not just a bunch of fucking all show and no go? Pop star, DaBaby. Ugh. What a fucking asshole. Well, all right. This is pretty funny. Let me smoke this shit up. I want to check something. Lizzie's not here, but there's this weird thing that's been happening. When I hit her, let's turn that off. When I hit her stinger, for some reason, Jordan's goes off. And then when I hit it again, hers works. So even though she's not here, we're going to give it a try. It works. Keeps on turning. All right. Check this out. Six Republican lawmakers were among the rioters, and they figured this out because police were releasing photos of the people who were wanted. This is from The Independent. It's written by Gustav Collender. That's right. You never know when you might need him when you're making spaghetti. So at least 6 Republican state legislators took part in events surrounding the storming of the U.S. Capitol. West Virginia Delegate Derek Evans posted a video of himself entering the building, but later deleted it. Tennessee state lawmaker Terry Lynn Weaver told the Tennessean she was in the thick of it during the rally before the storming of the Capitol. She said there was just a whole heck of a lot of patriots here. People are retarded. She tweeted a picture saying it's an epic and historic day gathering with fellow patriots, fellow fucking kooks. Virginia State Senator Amanda Chase denied any violence taking place despite the overwhelming evidence. Later accused the police of murder after shooting of a California woman inside the Capitol. Oh, brother. Fucking, they should have been mowing people down. They should have had a Gatling gun just mowing these assholes down as they tried to break into the Capitol building. These were not rioters and looters. Oh my God. Tell me again that there's any difference between the extreme left and the extreme right. There's no difference. This is the same shit you hear out of Antifa and Black Lives Matter. I'm sorry, Antifa and these fucking right wing assholes from whatever groups they're from, it's the same shit. Two sides of the same coin. And all you people still believe that there's a two-party system and that your vote matters. I vote. I vote because it's fun to do, not because I believe it makes a fuck of a difference. It's just really funny to hear after what we saw the U.S. Capitol being attacked for these fucking idiots to say, "Oh, they were patriots, not rioters," and oh my god, she's like, they don't want to see our great republic turn into a socialist country. Yeah, I don't either, but neither do those people. Those people are fucking crazy. Missouri State Representative Justin Hill skipped his swearing in ceremony. Fuck, cocksucker, cunt. Oh, I got to skip it? To be in D.C. He marched to the Capitol but didn't enter. Pennsylvania State Senator Doug Mastriano made sure that a busload of people could be in D.C. He didn't participate in the clashes with police. By the way, a Capitol police officer died from injuries he sustained from these non-rioters and non-looters. I have no idea how the reports of his severe injuries, or I can't believe there was already no video or reports of one of the cops being so severely injured that he ended up dying the next day. Crazy. I don't know why they keep bringing up the deaths that occurred that were just that had nothing to do with violence. The cops shot that one dumb bitch for trying to enter the building. The veteran that they're saying was murdered. Anyway, so the cops shot her, rightfully so, and then there was a Capitol police officer who has now somebody is going to be charged with homicide for his death because he's now died from the injuries he sustained. But the other deaths were all medical related. I think one was a heart attack or something. I don't even know why they count that other than as why report on it? I mean, it's like, oh, isn't this crazy? Some people happen to die of natural causes too. That's crazy. But when you read the articles, they keep making it look like somehow these people would still be alive if they hadn't been there. People would have died anyway, right? They're going to have a heart attack anyway, probably. Anyway, this all comes as the FBI, DC police released images of people wanted on federal charges for violently storming the Capitol, trying to track down 36 people after 68 were already arrested. 4 rioters died. See, that's what I'm saying. It says, by the way, how come when BLM and Antifa was rioting, they didn't say rioters? It was always peaceful protesters. Again, I think they're all shit. I think Antifa's shit. I think BLM is shit. I think these fucking Proud Boys, they're all a bunch of dumb fucking cunts. But it's really funny I don't know why, but okay, but this is what I was saying. They're saying 4 rioters died and 56 officers were injured, but only one of those rioters died as a direct result of the riots, the one that was shot by the cop. And then there was one officer. I don't think it's in this article, but as I said a moment again, there is an officer who died, a Capitol police officer. It's probably this one here. I'm imagining because they reported today an officer died from the injuries sustained in the attack, as I already said. But that was just making my point. They make it seem like all of these deaths were the same. I'm surprised they don't attribute all 4 deaths to COVID. This is Terry Lynn Weaver, epic and historic day gathering with fellow patriots. Man, we got to take a look at her Twitter and see, are people calling her a fucking kook? Are they like, hey, you dumb bitch, you were just part of a fucking attempted coup? Oh, there we go. That's good. See, right? It only took one comment. This was treason, a violent attack on democracy, and you should all be ashamed. Everyone is going to jail for 20 years minimum. Not patriots, traitors, insurrectionists, sedition, felony murder, maybe. Destruction. Well, I think all murder is felony. I don't think there's a misdemeanor murder. Just saying. Destruction of federal property, trespassing, theft. Okay, resign. I mean, I would like this if she didn't say felony murder. I can't I can't hit the like on a tweet when someone types something so egregiously stupid. Someone could be up for felony murder. Oh man, that's serious when you're up for felony murder. I mean, one time I was up for misdemeanor murder, and I got off, did some community service for that murder, but woo, felony murder, that's a whole other thing. And I agree with this one. So the pretty amazing. So the suspects include Holocaust deniers, white supremacists, conspiracy theorists. They've already been identified online, some of them, like QAnon shaman. Uh, and then there was, yeah, okay. So you get it. A lot of them haven't been identified yet. The Department of Justice is committed to ensuring those responsible for this attack on our government, the rule of law, will face the full consequences. Some will be charged today. We'll continue to methodically assess evidence. I mean, when I first saw this fucking guy, I really did think it was photoshopped. Completely surreal. And I'm just going to sum up by saying it again. I don't belong to the left or the right. I belong to the Zach Waldman party. I believe in judging people as individuals. I want to be judged as an individual and not because of my association with groups. Holy fuck. Imagine if I was getting judged by my association to magicians and comedians. Oh boy. Trust me, you'd rather be compared to a date rapist than being, well, although these days so many comedians are accused. Never mind. You get my point. Fuck you, social justice warriors. Fuck you, BLM. Fuck you, Antifa. Fuck you, Proud Boys. Fuck you, KKK. Fuck you. If you're an extremist wacko of any kind, go fuck yourself. Anybody feel differently? Anybody else want to defend extremism? Hey, what's up, Harold Wolf? I saw you there, brother. I didn't say anything right away because I was just trying to, I haven't uploaded like a standalone video for a couple days. So what I try to do is I try to talk about trending shit right as it happens. I try to goof on it. And then I hope that I end up with like 4 or 5 stories, like 5 to 10 minutes long, that I can then edit out of the show and then upload to YouTube, and hopefully one of them catches on. And you'll notice that on my videos, like you'll see I'll have a lot of videos with 1,000 views, and then a bunch with like 50 views, and then all of a sudden 6,000 views. And the last couple of videos got shit. But nah, you didn't miss much, man. I'm not even done smoking the bowl yet, and no, we're just getting started. How was your day, Harold? I love that name too, Harold Wolf. What a fucking cool name. I should rewatch Wolf of Wall Street. The real Wolf of Wall Street, the guy that movie was based on, has a YouTube channel. It's pretty great. He teaches all of this, a lot of sales advice. You just took a nap? I take a nap pretty much every day. You know, it's when Buddha's hungry, he eats. When he's thirsty, he drinks. When he's tired, he sleeps. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Jordan Belfort. Thanks. Couldn't remember his name. I knew it was a J. Yeah, he's got a YouTube channel. It's pretty great if you like sales advice and that kind of stuff. What do you do, Harold? I know you do judo. It's the morning where you are. I watched a movie tonight before the cast, and I can't believe it took me this long to watch this movie, considering that one of the focuses of my channel is making fun of social justice warriors. But I just watched the Adam Carolla, Dennis Prager documentary, No Safe Spaces. At one point, I realize how many people I know just don't understand the social justice warrior, the social justice religion or cult or whatever you want to call it. They don't understand how dangerous it is, how insidious it is, how it'll eventually come from them for them if they choose to ignore it. And hey, what's up, Carl? How you doing, buddy? I work at the Salvation Army and go to school for it too. Oh, cool, man. There's a You go to school for the Salvation Army? Did judo as a teen? I didn't know. So you have Salvation Armies in Amsterdam? That's got to be the scariest army in Amsterdam. It's like if we're ever invaded here in Holland, yeah, we've got a bit of an army. They ain't much, but luckily there's a Salvation Army here, and those motherfuckers know how to fight. No one is invading us. We got it covered. The good Reverend Carl is here. So, what was I babbling about? So No Safe Spaces, great movie. I when I was trying to explain to people how dangerous and insidious and what a mind virus this social justice nonsense is, a lot of people they don't understand it. They haven't experienced it. They're not aware of it. They don't know. They just don't understand, especially if they don't live in California. There's so much more of it in California than you're going to find in, like, South Dakota. So I was actually thinking I'm going to make a video where I'm going to make it with the intention of how can I explain to all my family and friends succinctly and clearly the history of social justice, where it came from, the people who have been victimized by it, and why it is a threat to the core of this country. Because I believe the greatest thing about America is the First Amendment, our freedom of speech. And they do polls all the time where these motherfuckers are like, 50-50 on whether or not we should have freedom of speech. This whole generation, right? Um, who do you think created the SGW ideas? Well, it came from the universities. It started in the universities. That's where it began, and it's rooted in the works of various, like, pseudo intellectuals. Um, there's a lot of it's based on a philosophy of Marxism and what they call postmodernism and intersectionalism. So intersectionalism is like is when you, like, create a spectrum of oppression, right? So if you're a straight white male, that's zero oppression. If you're a straight white female, it's more oppression than the male, but not by much. If you are a gay male, okay, now we're talking, we're getting some momentum. And so they keep going with this. Oh, well, then it's worse to be, a black woman than a white woman, worse to be a gay black man than a straight, you know what I mean, than a gay white man. So then the problem is you can divide people up like this on a spectrum that never ends, because you can keep breaking this down further and further. So you could go back to the straight white male and say, okay, but this one was raised by a single mother who was a drug addict prostitute. So he's more oppressed than this other straight white male. And they go, okay, that's true. But this other straight white male, and you see where I'm going with this. That, by the way, that's the reason um, that instead of just gay rights, it got to be LGBTQ RLMNOP. That's how that happened, because they keep with this intersectionalism. So there were certain writers and, like I said, pseudo intellectuals that have put forth a lot of these theories and written a lot of papers and books on things like critical race theory. And critical race theory, for instance, says the entire system in America is racist. And if you're, again, a white male born in America, you inherently benefit from that system. and you are therefore racist, and you can never not be racist. All you can ever be, all you can hope to be, is anti-racist, which means you actively speak, you acknowledge your privilege, speak out against racism, and join some sort of group and actively combat it. So, but most people don't understand that this is all based on this philosophy. And if someone said, "Are you anti-racist?" you would think that means you're against racism. So you, yeah, of course I'm anti-racist. But in their world, in their vernacular, in their doctrines, anti-racist has a very specific definition, and that's what makes it very hard to explain to people. They don't get it. You try to go, no, you don't understand that this is. It's like it's like playing Dungeons and Dragons and having a hurricane magic spell. It's like you don't understand. It means something different in this game than it does in real life. So anyway, uh, I wanted to do this video where I explain to people where it came from and why it's the whole thing. But it turns out I don't need to do it because just watch the movie No Safe Spaces. It doesn't really go into in depth the core philosophy and where it all originated. So maybe that's something I could still do, make a video talking about exactly where it all came from, who started it, where it started, the philosophy it's built on, and all of that. That might be a good project for me. But if you ever want to like make an attempt at either explaining to people what this is or trying to deprogram a loved one, have them watch this documentary with Adam Carolla called No Safe Spaces. Seems like it's targeting everyone now. Well, Harold, it always targets everyone. See, that's the whole thing. They call Martina Navratilova, who's a lesbian and who's done more for women's athletics than almost anyone. They canceled the documentary they were going to make about her based on the backlash she received for saying that she didn't think it was right for men to identify as women and then compete in high school and collegiate sports as so it'd be like, okay, it'd be like if I identified as a woman and then I entered the female bodybuilding competition, weightlifting competition, and I win. I set all the school records and I get all the scholarships. Martina Navratilova spoke out against that, and then she was dubbed a transphobe. She's a lesbian. She's a woman. They dubbed her a transphobe, and they canceled her documentary. So they eventually come for everybody, and that's the point. Neo-communist. That's a pretty good description. There's actually places they can lock you up for that stuff. I'm sorry, Harold. I'm talking and looking at the chat on a little bit of a delay, so not sure what we were talking about there. I know in other countries you can get locked up for all kinds of infractions of speech. So Justin Trudeau's people like that, even though he was in blackface himself, looking like Aladdin. They even tried Rogan, who's probably the nicest, coolest guy you'll find. Yeah, like Fallon Fox. Exactly. So yeah, you know it all. Well, I've known Rogan for a long time. I've known Joey Diaz. I don't know Joey Diaz as well as I know Rogan, but I've known Rogan for over 20 years, and it was his podcast is so huge, his popularity and his fan base is so strong that it was hilarious to try to watch them try to cancel Joey Diaz and Joe Rogan. That was hilarious. I'm like, you don't get it. The people that like Joey Diaz, hey, Jordan Palmer, the people that like Joey Diaz love Joey Diaz. You can't cancel him. By the way, if you ever wondered, like, how, those names scrolling along the bottom, where do they come from? Those are people that joined the Zach Waldman fan club. You could do that. Go to zachwaldman.com/fans. You'll learn some easy to do magic tricks, bar bets, uncensored exclusive content. Plus, even if you don't join the fan club, there's plenty of free things you can do there to support me. By the way, Reverend Carl, the last time you were here, I was trying to say something to you, but you left before I got to say anything. So I'm going to assume Carl is still here. I don't think he would have popped in and left that quick. Um, but Carl, uh, the magic tricks that I'm teaching in the Zach Waldman fan club. Oh, and also the reason Jordan has that stinger is because he's a member of the fan club. So if you join the Zach Waldman fan club, your name or screen name, whatever you want, gets added to the bottom there of the screen. Plus, I'll make a stinger for you like Jordan's. So every time you come into the live show, I'll play your stinger. Now, Reverend Carl, I don't have one for him because when I go on break, I play his music. So he gets more than a stinger. But anyway, assuming Carl is still listening to me, the magic tricks that I'm teaching in the members area, I'm making a point to be squeaky clean on those, uh, and to make them like all ages. So if at some point uh, you want to learn one of those tricks, or if your little girl needs to see it, those are safe to watch. So the magic tricks are safe to watch with your kiddo, is my point. Um, so you have to work in about 4 hours. Crap. And so what do you do at the Salvation Army there, Harold? Let's see. I feel the all right. Well, since we're good to know about magic tricks. Yeah, with the Zach Waldman fan club, there's bar bets there. So if you want to win some free drinks, I got some there. I'm going to add more. The magic tricks, you help the homeless find jobs and housing, stuff like that. That's pretty cool, man. The magic tricks are, yeah, there's also in the fan club, I've got like videos I've done that are not part of the live stream. Like my buddy Drew, we do the Drew and Zach show sometimes, and we bullshit. Those don't ever go up live. Those are just pre-recorded, totally uncensored. So everything is uncensored there and out of control, except for the magic tricks. The magic tricks are G-rated, so you could share those. You could watch those and know I'm not going to say cunt. It's like, hey, I'm going to show you this cunt of a card trick here. You don't have to worry about that. I do say cunt a lot, but I won't in the magic tricks. Just a little tip. This is a very long article. I haven't read it yet. I just scrolled through it, and I'll probably read every word of it later. But since we're talking comedians and cancel culture, I want to show you. This is something that was shared with me. I did not see Ashley Fallon lose to Ashley Evans Smith. I did not. I think now that you mentioned it, I think I knew about that a woman said, "Fuck it, I'll fight him," and then I did. Yeah, I guess I did. I guess I did know about that. Now that it's like a memory that's coming back. I didn't see it though, and that's yeah. But when you said it earlier in the chat, Harold, for some reason, I don't know why, but I thought you said it was a work, and I meant to ask you, and I was like, oh, it was a work, Fallon, like in wrestling, like a wrestling work. I thought you meant Fallon threw it, but you're saying worked that she worked her over. Gotcha. Yeah, I got you now. Sometimes, see again, most people that's how we were talking about language before, right? The word work in wrestling, like in pro wrestling, it's a work, or like in a boxing match, if somebody were to throw it, it's a work, right? They make it look good, but everybody's in on it. It's fake. It's a fake match, is what I'm trying to say. God damn, that weed's good. It's the last bowl I have, but I have one little joint. I'm going to save this until we get a little deeper into the show. Well, yeah, I was going to say it's pretty humiliating. It's like, all right, I'll call you a she, Fallon Fox, because I don't, if that's what you want me to call you, I'll call you a she. But let's be real, you're a dude that just got beat up by a girl. I mean, let's keep it real. That's, you got, if you had just, fuck, it makes me think you probably, wouldn't even have a chance against pro MMA fighters that were actually, against other men. All right, so here we go. This is from The Critic. Kicked out of the comedy club, Andrew Doyle wonders why so many comedians are offended by the satire of Titania McGrath. So most of you guys that watch me know Titania McGrath is one of my favorite accounts. It's a parody account of like a social justice warrior. It's not a real woman. The picture of Titania is actually a composite made up of several different women, so not a real person. So right there, there's I always fuck up the name. Titania McGrath, I guess. Always want to say Titania, but it's Titania. Fucking Brits. The guy behind this account, though, is here you go, is Andrew Doyle. And so it's a dude behind it. So that's why it's funny. If it was a woman, probably wouldn't have been that funny. Is there men versus women matches in jiu-jitsu much? Roll with women all the time. I don't, in tournaments, not really. So let's see. Here's an example of the parody account. Yeah, here's a little example. As a left-wing activist, my priority is to make sure that corporations in Silicon Valley are empowered to set the limits of acceptable speech. Things that are racist, part 32. Self-driving cars, coffee, dinosaurs, jigsaw puzzles. And here you go. It appears that self-driving cars could have a racism problem. Self-driving cars are more likely to run you over if you're black, study suggests. So, she really oh my God, how do you say this? Pachycephalosaurus? Jesus. Pachycephalosaurus. Jurassic World racist dinosaur. So she backs it up with, the many problems with Auckland University's racist coffee. So this gives you an idea of the, it's amazing. I say she again, I'm not going to misgender the fake character. Here's one more example. I've just given a copy of Cosmo to a friend of mine who's gained weight during lockdown. Explained she should feel empowered by her extra flab and embrace her new identity as a person of girth. Pog. She was so moved she actually burst into tears. This is healthy. 11 women and why wellness doesn't have to be one size fits all. Oh my God. I had a couple of I had a couple of SJWs on my show once. I didn't know they were SJWs when I invited them on. I had no idea that they were friends of mine, and I had no idea they were super woke morons. And they weren't close friends. They were like acquaintances, and I thought they were cool. And this is years ago. And they started arguing with me that because they're both fat, that being fat is healthy. All right. So it's kind of like The Onion, specifically goofing on, wokeness, and kind of like my YouTube channel is, a middle-aged man who used to make a great living as a comedian magician who's been out of work now for almost a year and is trying to live off of, well, I haven't even gotten the $600 yet from the government. Anyway, so that guy, he started a YouTube channel. Now he's talking about himself in the third person. That's me. And now he does really sophomore humor and rambles incoherently like an insane person. And then asks people to join his fan club, pretty much the equivalent of a cyber beggar. I am pretty much a digital panhandler. So, with that being said, this article is taken from the January February 21 issue of the Critic. Okay. So, this is now I can tell you from the headline, by the way, that's one of the things that's so nuts is how many comedians have gone woke. I'll tell you a story real quick. Oh, fuck. Oh, god damn it. Motherfucker. I must have accidentally hit the button. And I have the audio meters up there so that I can visually see if that happens, and I just fucking missed it. Well, motherfucker. What's the last thing you cunts heard me say? I could probably tell the story better this time anyway, frankly. I felt the part I was just at in the story, I was like, I'm kind of telling the story shitty. So, what's the last thing you heard me say? And then I'm gonna go ahead and get this joint ready because after doing that, can't believe it. I've done that. Fucking what a stoner thing to do. God damn it. You were talking about some trans you ran in high school. So I think did you mean to say trains? Trans. I ran. What do you think about Phil Cosby coming home and all of a sudden shout out and thank the rappers he used to diss? Oh, Pill Cosby. I thought you said Phil Cosby. Okay, listen. Pill Cosby's coming home. Is he getting out of prison? What are you talking about? Listen, I gotta tell you the story I was about to tell you. What was the last? I didn't. Why are they letting him out of prison? What was the last thing you heard me say? Motherfuckers, I don't even care anymore. I got it set to super low latency. So I don't know why. Maybe you guys just type slow as shit. All right. All I know. Oh, brother. All right. Let's try this again. You heard. You heard all the stuff about Titania McGrath, right? When I was showing you the Titania McGrath Twitter, were you able to hear me during that, or was my mic off during the time I was showing her Twitter? He's got more rapes to get under his belt. I didn't think, I just assumed Cosby was going to die in prison. Yes, Mrs. Titty McGrath. All right, let's take a look at the article. Jesus Christ. He probably going to work with Pfizer with time-free pills. That's funny. All right. From the critic, kicked out of the comedy club, Andrew Doyle wonders why so many comedians are offended by the satire of Titania McGrath. And what I was going to tell you when I before was this is what's so weird is how many comedians have gone woke. It's like this woke shit has entered the comedy community. Andrew Doyle's the guy behind the character. Every gay person who grew up before the new millennium knew that coming out of the closet wasn't a one-off affair. It was an exercise to be repeated in the various spheres of one's existence, family, friends, work. There'd always be new social situations in which it was prudent to find a way to communicate the information to avoid any embarrassing assumptions. Few of us had the reach of Tom Daly, who could put out a statement on YouTube and get the job over and done with one fell swoop. I remember being genuinely shocked when I saw that video, mostly because I couldn't believe there was anyone out there who had actually thought Tom Daly was straight. Now, remember, this dude's British or Australian or, one of those types of people. Irish, all the same shit. English. So I think, I don't know who Tom Daly is, but I guess, we get it in context. It would be like if anybody ever thought Liberace was straight, right? The most recent outing was as the writer of Titania McGrath, an intersectional activist who began life on Twitter in order that she might chastise the unwoke for their moral impurity and proclaim her infinite virtue to the cybersphere. For those of you who are not on Twitter, that's the 80% of the country who actually value their time on Earth. You may not be aware that such self-aggrandizing behavior is considered acceptable. On Twitter, it's the norm. It's effectively a digital playground in which grown adults toss their half-baked opinions around like pies in that scene from Bugsy Malone. Never saw that either, pal. Tom Daly, Bugsy Malone. Speak English, motherfucker. From Titania's earliest appearance, I resolved to stay anonymous, not to cause mischief, but more for the fun of it. If people believed she was real, I reasoned I could enter into dialogue with her detractors. This meant that the satirical impact would not be restricted to what Titania said, but how others reacted to her. Her tweets are designed to ridicule the excesses of the social justice left, but her interactions tend to expose the folly of those on the right who take her at face value and lose their temper. As such, her targets are not limited to one side of the political spectrum. Once the account was known to be the work of a comedian, these kind of exchanges became less frequent. For good reason. People are wary of engaging with fictional characters on a public forum. So when in March 2019 I received an email from Rosamund Irwin at the Sunday Times asking me outright if I was behind Titania McGrath, I was a little uncertain how to respond. She had been watching interviews I'd given and had read some of my articles and had noted similarities with some of Titania's favorite references. This was impressive investigative journalism. I still wasn't prepared to give up my anonymity quite yet. As a Catholic plagued with the prospect of perdition, I could not bring myself to tell a lie, so I fudged it. I told Irwin that I was flattered, but I neither denied nor confirmed her suspicions. Still, she persisted. Are you 100% saying it is not you? She asked. Nope, sorry, I replied. This was the truth, of course. I was not saying that I wasn't Titiana. By this ingenious lexical prestidigitation, I was able to fend off any further queries and at the same avoid condemning myself to the everlasting flames of hell. After the Sunday Times article was published, the smoking gun was discovered by a comedy website called Chortle, which had somehow got hold of a document from the Frankfurt Book Fair in which the publisher of Titania's first book, Woke, A Guide to Social Justice, had accidentally revealed my identity, all of which meant that just at the very moment the book was due to be published, there was a sudden deluge of publicity about my authorship. I was invited to be interviewed on television, radio, national newspapers. He went on the Joe Rogan Experience too, by the way. This guy. One would be forgiven for supposing I had manufactured the whole thing and that my outing was an avaricious, uh, avaricious. I can't speak now. Ploy to hey man, I got through prestidigitation like a champ. Avaricious, avarice, aversius, aversius, ploy to enhance book sales. And in truth, I lacked the necessary guile to concoct such a scheme. Only the likes of Peter Mandelson or Hannibal Lecter could be so shrewd. I know Hannibal Lecter. I finally got one. Nevertheless, Titania's fame quickly grew, and by May last year, she had more than 500,000 followers in a second book deal. As her popularity increased, the venom of those who disapproved of the character became more toxic. For some reason, these tended to be the very kind of identity-obsessed faux leftists that Titania was satirizing, but I'm sure that's just a coincidence. All right, I like I said, this goes on for a long time. Um, what I was mostly interested in was specifically at other comedians. The idea that other comedians would be woke and other, I will say honestly, if you are a woke comedian, that is an oxymoron. It does not exist, and you can't call. I take away your comedy card. You're no longer allowed to call yourself a comedian if you're woke. It's just being a social justice comedian. Nope, sorry. It's just unbelievable that that's how many that so many so-called comedians, wannabe comedians, have a problem with this guy. All right, so here it is. The reaction of the comedy community, if such a thing exists, was particularly revealing. Suddenly, comics I had known and worked with for years began to block me on social media or write blog posts to express their displeasure at my diabolical creation. Now, those who knew me to be fundamentally opposed to racial discrimination started referring to me as alt right, the shorthand term for white nationalist. Others accused me of being a shill for foreign powers and claimed I was being funded by dark money. I remember thinking that this money must be very dark indeed, given that I never actually seen any of it. When I appeared at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival in 19, I spent some evenings in the performers' bars where acts, critics, and other hobgoblins of the industry would mingle and pretend to enjoy each other's company. Not that I particularly relish these flesh pots of nepotism and mutual masturbation, but at least I would see some familiar faces. I really like the way this guy writes. After a while, I could not help but notice that when I approached old friends from the circuit to catch up, they would look around nervously. At first, I assumed this was my own paranoia, brought on by the unbridled consumption of cheap Prosecco, but then a companion of mine made the same observation. These people I'd acquainted with for years who knew me as a decent person were nonetheless clearly now afraid of being spotted in my vicinity. What am I to conclude from this? Well, I can tell you what to conclude. Comedians are pussies, a lot of them. And that was why I came out and immediately defended Dalia and Callan. I'm not friends with either of those guys. I've never met Callan. I've performed with on the same bill as Dalia. He doesn't fucking know me. He would look at me and go, I think I've seen him in the green room with Jimmy Schubert a lot. That's how he would remember me. So I don't have any relationship like close friendship with these guys, but I was the first one to defend both of them because I don't give a fuck. You know, it's like I'm already not getting stage time at the Comedy Store. What are you gonna like extra not give me stage time at the Comedy Store? Fuck it. Anyway, I'll tell you a quick story. I was performing at Flappers one night, and they have this comedy competition, and I don't participate in the competition. What it is it's like a bunch of open micers that compete. Usually, whoever brings the most friends wins the thing. Sometimes, legitimately, the funniest person wins. But basically, they have the audience vote and they have to count the votes. and to figure out who the third, second, and first place winners of this comedy contest is. And they have two paid spots: the host of the show and the entertainer who entertains the audience while they're in the back tallying the votes. A lot of times the entertainer they have for the audience while the votes are being tallied is like a variety performer like me. So they bring in a comedy magician, which is what I am. And so it's a cool gig. You get some food, you get some stage time, you get a small check. It's where I met Jimmy Dore for the first time. I love Jimmy Dore, one of my favorite people. And it's a good spot. Everybody drops in there and does spots. So even though it's like a competition among open micers, good comedians drop in, like Jimmy Schubert and um, what's her face, Dalia's old pal who did not stand up for him, Whitney Cummings. She's always been nice to me. I like Whitney, but Whitney, I've been there when Whitney's dropped in, and so everybody does spots at Flappers. So it's like you got the picture: open micers, comedy contest, and people dropping in. And then when they're tallying the votes, I go out there and I do comedy and I do magic. So it's cool. I'm hanging out watching this thing, and I've done this for a couple of years now. I've been there, I guess, and there's this girl in the contest. Again, these are like open micers, right? She's goes up on stage. She's in the contest, and she does this, like, she's like filthy, right? Super filthy. And one of her jokes is, everybody always fucks the DJ at parties. Like, how about instead of fucking the DJ, we start fucking uh I don't know if she said I think she said the clowns. She's like, DJs are always getting laid, but what about clowns at parties? We should start fucking them more, right? And she was like, so she's super filthy, and she was, and and this was like a big part of her bit. I don't know if that's exactly how the bit went. I don't know. It was fucking not memorable, but the gist of it was like fucking somebody that's typically at a party, right? And so when it was my turn to, now I go up there, and I was and by the way, she bombed horribly, for the record. She was, again, they're all, most of them do poorly because it's like an open mic kind of situation. There are levels. As you get deeper into the contest, you start to get better contests because the winner gets to go to like level 2 or something, and they keep doing this. So I have done it where I'm like, wow, this was actually a really pretty decent show. But this was not that show. This chick bombed, making being as filthy as possible for 5 minutes, talking about fucking the clown. And so when I went up there, I went, that's, don't, when you're at a party, don't forget about the magicians, because I think, yeah, well, anyway, so I made a joke. I was like, that's cool. Fuck the clown. But, what about the magicians and then the mimes? And I don't know. But that was the extent of the joke, because I'm a magician. It's a comedy club. And I think there was a joke about magicians in our act 2 or something. And I was like, well, wait a minute. And it doesn't matter. I got a huge laugh because of the earlier reference that someone had made fun of a magician. When they found out I was a magician, like, hey, by the way, I am a magician. Right away, that got a big laugh because of what had been said. And I was like, yeah, if you're going to fuck the clown at the party, you may as well fuck the magician too. And anyway, I did my thing. I got more laughs, like goofing on that than she did with the material. And at the end of the set, I'm walking by this broad, and I'm figuring, like, we're all comics. This is what we do. We goof on each other. They goofed on me for being a magician, and I goofed on her for being, you know what I'm saying? It was like you just shout all over magicians, And it was like, so I'm walking by this broad and I go, hey, I said, hey, you did a really good job. You were funny. And she fucking goes nuts on me. She's like, well, I really didn't appreciate what you said about me. It was really, it was really bad. I was like, what? I was like, look, I thought you were a comedian. Sorry. That's what comedians do. You guys, there was a lot of jokes about being a magician and you were really dirty talking about fucking clowns. I didn't think throwing in mimes and magicians and the balloon guy was over the line. She's like, well, it was very targeted toward me. I was like, okay, well, if you were offended by that, I'm really sorry. I guess I'm used to other comics just goofing on each other and it's not a thing. So if you were offended, I'm sorry about that. And she goes, yeah, but it was just really targeted. It was really targeted toward me. I went, okay. She goes, so, when you said that, that was really, that wasn't right. I mean, it was targeted. I went, okay. What would you like me to do for you now? Well, I think you should in the future, especially when you're dealing with female comedians, you know how hard it is for us. Maybe be a little bit more careful about the feelings of female comedians. And I'm in my head, I'm thinking, oh, so you want to be treated special because you're a girl? Gotcha. And you have it so fucking hard. The fucking the only reason people didn't heckle you if you were. By the way, she was hot. If she was ugly, she would have been funny, probably. This girl's never had a bad day in her life, so she fucking snapped. And I was like, okay, I'll be more careful in the future. Oh, okay, okay. She's fucking having. I'm like, anything else I could do? Okay, goodbye. And then I go into the bar and I run into this other female comic that I know. She goes, hey, I haven't seen you in a bit. How you doing? Say, you want to have a drink? Yeah. I could, you're not going to believe this fucking open micer that was doing the contest just unleashed on me. She was as filthy as you could imagine, bombed, goofed on magicians, talked about, and I said this one thing and she felt targeted and she's like, bro, she goes, you have no idea. She's like, these woke assholes are infesting the stand up world. I'm like, really? She's like, yeah. She's like, it's not, she goes, you're not the only one to run into it. She's like, and by the way, this girl's a lesbian. And she's like, I run into it. She's like, they get upset with me. I'm like, what? She's like, I'm a lesbian. They're like, and they somehow they're calling me like homophobic. I'm like, what? I'm like, yeah, I'm surprised I haven't been called anti-Semitic yet. Which they called Dennis Prager. Someone called him anti-Semitic. That's pretty funny. Hey, Big Phil's here. Wokeness killed comedy and about everything else. Um, Big Phil, man, that is. I was thinking about you today. I have a few friends. You're one of them. My friend Dave Diebel, and I just retweeted this the article I was reading from the Andrew Doyle one, the guy behind that woke parody account, Titania McGrath. And there's like a small network of us that are just every day we're in the trenches fighting this battle against wokeness. It's like I can always count on Big Phil to like and retweet and same thing with me. I see him whenever he's like in an argument with these fucking Antifa, far left, SJW, woke, socialist, whatever you want to call them, anybody from that extreme branch. I'm always like, oh, I'm on team Big Phil all day long. Who was the worst comedian I ever met? Like, what do you mean, Harold? In terms of what? And Harold, I don't know Whitney for shit. She's always been nice to me, but she didn't get Dalia's back, and that was my only point. Is I don't know Dalia, and I got his back. That was my first successful YouTube video. Was the one I did with defending Chris D'Elia. And the worst comedian I've ever met. I don't know in what respect you mean. I mean, There's people I don't like, but there's so few people I don't like in life. Even people that I used to really despise, I got to a point where I was just like, you know what, man, that's on them. I'm not wasting my energy hating people. I'll just do the opposite. I'll just send them love and 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 in turn send it out into the world and back to myself. And it's just it's very freeing. A lot of people don't do that because they think somehow it lets the person that did them wrong off the hook, but it doesn't make a difference. All it does is it lets you off the hook. It makes no difference to the other person. But if somebody fucked you over and it's like, oh, I can't, at some point, it's like, you're only doing that to yourself. So it's hard for me to name people that I have a real problem with. There's people I might not, they might not be my favorites. I'm not, inviting them over. I'm not, hanging out with them, but uh, I don't know. I didn't know Carlos Mencia at all. I mean, obviously, I don't like anybody that steals, but uh, I'll also say this as far as, I mean, this is a big generalization. Again, I think judge people as individuals, but between the two communities, magicians are way worse than comedians. I get along with comics way better. They're more fun. They have, our personalities are more alike. Magicians, that's where it's like, oof. A lot of real ugliness goes on in the world of magic. You want to talk about a world infiltrated by wokeness? By the way, improv comedy, the Second City has been infiltrated by wokeness too. This is a jetpack. This is a half-gram joint rolled in keef. So it's a little bitty guy. I'm gonna try to not just smoke it all in one. I kind of yeah, okay, that's good. I want to try to save a hit, man. You know what I'm saying? That's all I got left. A half a gram or some shit. Do you hey Big Phil, do you follow Titania McGrath? Homosexuality is transphobic because it reinforces the myth of a gender binary. So although we must oppose homophobia, we also need to recognize that not being homophobic is a form of transphobia. This really isn't difficult. How fucking funny. Guy is fucking brilliant. When I was following this account and nobody knew the identity of the person behind it, uh, I was like, well, it's really funny, so I know it's a dude. I made that joke earlier, but I felt like making it again. Why not? All right, let's see what's going on here. A team of UNLV students developed a new type of air purification system that uses UV light and photocatalytic oxidation to destroy the COVID virus in large spaces, including stadiums and hotels. Cool. It'll probably be ready right around the time we don't need it anymore. A person who currently advises Donald Trump tells me it's all hit him since yesterday. You may have legal exposure from yesterday. You definitely have legal exposure from other things. You have less than 2 weeks to remain ensconced in here with executive privilege. Yeah, I think he knows he's fuckedville. You got to remember, he can't be pardoned from the shit that the state of New York has on him. It'll be funny as hell if they end up throwing him in jail. Haven't seen Titania in a while. Got suspended? No, no, she's not suspended. You like fish sticks? Sure hope you eating Jeffree Star fish sticks. What are you talking? What? Jeffree Star fish sticks? Um, yeah, this is my friend Dave Diebel. He's another comedy magician, juggler, really, really funny guy. And he was one that shared that. If you want to read that whole article, let me give you the link to it because it is. I just read a little bit of it to you, but I'll give you the link if you want to read it completely on your own. There you go. Kanye sing Jeffree Star. The Trump thing. Okay, so check it out. I found a promo code where if I deposited $20, I got $40. They give me a $20 bonus, right? So I emailed these guys at predictit.org to see if they have an affiliate link that I could have. The one I used came from Gambling with an Edge podcast. But I really wished I had gotten into this fucking years ago because this is right up my alley. And now, with all of the major stuff behind us, there's not going to be nearly as many things going. But predictit.org is that website I told you about where you can bet on the outcome of political events. And it's pretty badass. It's totally legal because it's used for research purposes. That the data they collect. So here's the idea behind this thing. It's kind of cool. Obviously, we know that the polling is all fucked up now, right? That they do these they conduct their surveys, and even Frank Luntz, who I actually know, been to his house, said that, well, I guess it's done because we can't seem to predict an election anymore. It's the days of calling people's landlines and getting them to answer questions. People aren't answering their cell phones and taking surveys. Everything's all fucked up. So the idea is, if you have more skin in the game, you're more interested in the outcome, and you're going to have your truer feelings. Like, okay, so like I don't give a fuck about football, right? But if it's the Super Bowl's coming up, I like to have a couple of Super Bowl bets because everybody's watching the game, and at least it gives me it gives me a reason to be interested. So I basically place my bet the same way every time, which is, uh, maybe this isn't the bet. I'll make it a good example, but I always take the underdog and I parlay that with the under. That's 99% of the time my Super Bowl bet. I don't know shit about football. That's just my bet. I like rooting for the underdog. I like hitting that parlay. And I feel like those games oftentimes end up low scoring. So the Chappelle said, Hesha looks like she looks like he just walked up from ground zero. Kim K would drive any man crazy, though in a good way and a bad way at the time. Yeah. Oh, okay. So the point is, but let's say a normal person, if you were going to put money on the game, you're like, all right, let me do some research. Or you might go with the person that, and you're going to end up betting on either the team you really think is going to win, or you're going to be the kind of person that bets on the team you really think is going to win, right? So you're either a fan. Did I say the same thing twice? What I'm trying to say is you're either a fan and you're going to root for your team no matter what. You live in New York City, you're rooting for you've been a Yankees fan since birth. You're betting on the Yankees in the Super Bowl. You understand what I'm saying? I told you I'm not that into football. Anyway, hey, exotic gamer, yo. And so some people are going to be diehard Democrats, right? They're going to vote Democrat no matter what, or Republican or whatever. But if you say put your money where your mouth is, well, some of the people that place the bet are simply going to bet on the Democrat, right? Because hey, I'm a Democrat. I'm going to put $20 down that Hillary Clinton's going to win the election. I don't give a fuck about the data, give a shit about anything. Just like a Yankees fan doesn't care because you're a Yankees fan. But then you've got the people that do this shit for a living that look at the markets and stuff and they go, well, I'm going to put money in and I'm going to put money where I actually, what I think the outcome is going to be. And so the point is, by having some skin in the game, you get people, you know how people really feel. So they use this for research. And that's why it's completely legal to do. And it works like kind of like a stock market. And one of the things that, like, by the way, for anybody that was watching the show last night, do you guys remember last night? I said on we it said will Trump be impeached again? Last night the yes was at I think like 10 cents, right? And remember I said to you guys, holy shit, it's only at 10 cents. They're talking about impeaching that. I think they are going to impeach that motherfucker. Last night I didn't understand this well enough last night to put any money in. I didn't have any money in the account yet last night. So I wanted to find a promo code, which I did. So instead of getting $20, I got 40. And I didn't really understand it that well. So I didn't want to try to figure it out on the show last night, but I've looked into it a lot more now. I still haven't put any money down. But the point is, last night, if I had bought Trump, I could have bought these shares at 10 cents. They're already worth 68 cents. So if I wanted to, like, let's pretend last night, I had bought those shares at 10 cents a piece. And then today, live on the stream, I could have sold them back at a higher price. So it's pretty cool. So, but check out. So I thought maybe we'll place a bet together. So check this one out. Will there be enough support by March 17th for the Newsom recall vote? It's about even money right now. You see this? So if you guys, let me explain to you how this works. I just realized I should explain it. Let's take this as an example. See, it says Yang runs in 2021 New York Dem mayoral campaign. That means if you can either bet this on the yes side or the no side. All right. So here are the price of the shares and how many are available. There's over 94,000 shares available at 97 cents. So if I want to buy a share of this for 97 cents, and then it turns out that he does run for New York City Democrat, he this comes true. He runs in the 21 New York City Democratic mayoral primary, then I would win the difference between that and $1. So I would win 3 cents minus a 10% commission, right? And now, so the opposite is if you bought no, I could buy the no share. So what this is showing is that almost everybody thinks that, yes, he's going to run in the 21 New York City Democratic mail primary. But you could buy the no at only 4 cents a share. So that means if you buy it at 4 cents, see, it changes to 4 cents. And you buy now the most you can put down on one bet is $850, in case you were wondering. Like, how do you make money on this? There's more to it than that, but there's people they do this full time for a living. I might be one of them now that I'm getting into it, since I can't go play poker. And this is and nobody, you know what's great about this, guys? Nobody fucking has it figured out yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, chess is harder than ever with all the computers and so many experts, and poker. I mean, there's still a lot of shitty poker players, but they're not as shitty as they used to be. My point is, this is still in its infancy. It hasn't been around that long. I think about 8 years or so, and a lot of people don't know about it. And it's not like sports betting where there's necessarily models with statistics that will help you. So it's like if you're a news junkie and into politics and shit, like and also what's interesting is like how a change in the news will shift the market. So that's what I was saying last night when we were live. I could have bought those Trump shares at 10 cents a piece, but now 24 hours later, because of the news that I reported, by the way, because of that news, now it's like, it's much more expensive. um So, okay, anyway, the point is I could buy these at 4 cents, and let's pretend Yang does not run in the 2021 New York City Democratic mail campaign. Then I would win 96 cents per share. You don't there's you just no, Jordan. There's the system just processes it. You don't have to. It doesn't it doesn't work like that. Let me the let's see. How do let me see if I can I want to answer that question because look, I'm brand new to this. Brand fucking new. So I want to answer your question. I know that that's not the case. Now, I do also notice here that you can buy shares at different prices and you can also put out offers. So you could say like, hey, I want to buy them. Would anybody sell them to me for less? Would anybody sell these to me for 1 cent? You know what I mean? So I can get it all the way down to 1 cent, and maybe somebody says, "Yeah, okay, I'll do that." But you don't get stuck with your shares, Jordan. I'm gonna have to figure out that answer for you. Um, how do you cash out? What do you mean? It's linked up to your bank account. So I used a debit card to deposit $20, but because of the promo, I got 40. So I just used a debit card, but I guess it just goes back on your debit card. We could go to if you like, we could go to the FAQ together. Where's the oh, okay, but you know what? Before we get into those details, here's the actual rules, right? So they give you very specific rules for this to happen. So a yes is he's a ballot listed candidate, and should no such primary election be held due to Mr. Yang running unopposed, the market will resolve as yes. So if he's all right, so see, they have to figure out all these little loopholes for shit. They have to get the wording just perfect. Once the election event or whatever you're betting on ends, what happens to the share prices? They get locked in at a certain time? I guess so. I would assume so. We'll look at the FAQ together. I heard a really great interview with a guy that's doing this that answered a ton of questions for me. And some of those things you're asking me, I should probably know the answer to, but I didn't retain the knowledge. But all right, so PredictIt may determine how and when to settle the market. Oh, so they determine when and how to settle it based on all information available at the relevant time. Reserves the right to wait for further official party, judicial, or other relevant announcements, reports, or decisions to resolve any ambiguity or uncertainty before the market is settled. Markets may stay open or incur a delay in settlement well past the date of the contest in certain circumstances. If there's any change to an event or any situation arises that is not in PredictIt's view addressed adequately by the market rules, PredictIt will decide the fairest and most appropriate course of action. Participant's decision, determination of this rule should be at the participant's sole discretion and shall be final. Okay. So every one of these things has different rules to them. And you could see, by the way, did you see Bitcoin went up again? I finally more than doubled my money on Bitcoin. That $40 you gave me, Jordan, the last time I checked was worth just over 80. It was like 82. It may have gone down a couple of bucks by now, but the last time I looked, I was like, I more than doubled my money. Oh, fucking. I wish I had taken every dollar I had and bought Bitcoin. I should have. All right, Harold. We'll see you back, man. By the way, anybody wants to get $10 in free Bitcoin, go to zachwaldman.com/fans. Scroll down to affiliate links, and there's a link for Coinbase. Click on that, open an account, deposit $100. Better yet, send me $100. All you have to do is a transaction worth $100, and you get $10 worth of free Bitcoin. All right. So one of the things now, by the way, you don't have to wait for the event to end, Jordan. So like I could have bought those shares last night on would Trump be impeached again? I could have bought them last night for 10 cents a share and then tonight sold them at the higher price. I guess they did. I guess you're not trading with other individuals. I guess there's just a market I guess there's just a certain number of shares, and I guess the shares just returned to being available. I think that answers your other question though, right? Because when you ask, do you get stuck with them? I think they just go back. Like I think you can always, yeah. There's videos and shit on it. Dude, I'm just learning too. But check this out. This is the one I wanted to talk to you guys about. Is the Newsom one. Do you think so here it is. Will there be enough signatures by March 17th for a vote on recall of Governor Newsom? And now this one, it's like, let's see what the rules are. Check out the rules. Got to read the rules. Oh shit, this is long. Okay. Review of any such timely fixed petitions. Got to be complete. Any extension of time that may be granted to recall efforts currently underway shall have no bearing on the resolution. So if they're offered an extension for some reason, it'll have no bearing. And the rest of this looks exactly like everything that we read in the last one. So that looks like that's their standard thing. So okay. So right now it's pretty even. It's changed since we just looked at it a couple of minutes ago. But in the same breath, here we go. The next few weeks are crucial for Newsom as he faces a GOP-led recall effort. So this maybe will give us some insight. Maybe we'll place a bet on this. What do you guys think? Timely vaccinations could mean life or death for Newsom politically. Getting kids back to school soon is essential for his political health. Reopening restaurants and other small businesses, those that have survived the pandemic, must for governor. All right. So right there, do you think he's going to do all that? I mean, I think I just read a thing. I'm pretty sure. Let's take a look that schools are not opening. Let's take a look. Oh, look at this. Newsom pushed to reopen schools. Let's see. This is from 15 hours ago. The problem is, it's from the LA Times, and I'm sure I'm running out of free articles. But it looks like he's trying to open them. Let's try to click on it and see if they'll let me read it. No, I don't want subscribe. All right. Well, like, yeah, but Newsom and Garcetti and anyway. So okay, let's see what it says here. And I don't see. I mean, so they're saying the next few weeks. Yeah, I mean, I guess so, right? If they need the signatures by March 17th, do we think that kids are going to be in school, restaurants are going to be open by March 17th? Isn't that kind of the question then? All right. So the notion of recalling a Democratic governor in a deep blue state where the Republican Party is pathetically weak. Hey, we recalled Gray Davis when I first moved out here. I voted against the recall because I didn't know anything about him. I just gotten here. Then we ended up with Schwarzenegger as our governor after that. I think that was Gray Davis, right? Anyway, probably mentions it in here. Okay. So this author is talking about all the things that they're very unexpected with what happened in Georgia and all the other things. It's been such a crazy time. Why, we could be ready for any kind of crazy shit in California. So, judge ruled the pandemic shutdown made it unfairly difficult to solicit the signatures by the November 17th deadline. Oh, because that was November 17th of last year. So it's already been extended to March 17th. But this time, even if it's extended, it doesn't matter. Will it happen by March 17th? Well, if it's going to happen, I think it'll happen by March. It'll happen when things are worse. And I think things are going to be at their, put it this way, I don't think things are going to get better until the summer. If they're not going to get better until summertime, then Newsom's not going to have it together by March. So after the dinner party, within a month of that dinner party, the recall effort collected 442,000 signatures. During the previous 5 months, it gathered fewer than 60,000. Wow, that one dinner. So, former state Republican Party chairman Tom Del Beccaro heads one of two recall committees announced Tuesday that more than 1 million signatures had been collected. There'll need to be around 2 million to assure there are enough valid signatures. So they're going after him. So the vaccine rollout is agonizingly slow, not only in California, but across the nation. President is mostly to blame. Newsom had one dinner. So Newsom hired what's this? It says looks like he's in trouble. So he knows that he hired a wartime consigliere as his top advisor, Jim DeBoo, veteran legislative and political strategist, very familiar with the Capitol's nooks and crannies. Departing Chief of Staff Ann O'Leary's expertise was policy, not politics. He wants to rapidly accelerate vaccinations. He thinks there needs to be a stronger, more collaborative public-private partnership, more public money, extra $300 million to beef up vaccination efforts. Kids will also get back to school quickly to calm their unhappy parents. He's asking the legislature for $2 billion to make schools virus safe for elementary students. Mid-February is his target for classroom reopenings. Yeah, I don't think so. It's a month away. No, 5 weeks. It's not happening. He also wants a $4.5 billion for economic stimulus. Well, he's he's got to be a he's got to be a great governor, do the job he was elected to do. That's it. Being a good governor would probably suffice to survive the recall. All right, I don't know. So what do we think? What do we think about this bet? Okay, let me close that. Let me close that. I got too many tabs open. Let me close all this crap. All right, here we go. So the price, see, I don't think you can buy or sell your shares unless someone else will accept your offer. It's not guaranteed. Well, it shows the inventory of them. So I would assume that means those are available to buy. Why could I not buy them? All right. So do we think yes or no on this? Let's take a look at the. So this is keeps going up, up, and up. The price of a yes has gone way up. Look at that. Corresponds probably with the dinner at the French Laundry. Do we think he can pull it off? I mean, there's a lot of people don't understand. Orange County, California is the most conservative district in the country. If at least it was at one time. If it's not still, it's one of the most. And California is a huge state. And there's a lot of farmers, there's a lot of agriculture. There's a lot between San Francisco and San Diego. You know what I'm saying? And between Sacramento and San Diego. So if people are super motivated, here's a thought. How motivated are people right now? It seems like everybody hates everybody. So the right is super motivated. They're going to come out strong to vote on. There's going to be plenty. I'm surprised they didn't get 2 million signatures in a day in Orange County alone. So I think the enthusiasm is behind the yes. But now, by the way, just because they recall him doesn't mean he's going to get replaced with another conservative. I mean, with a conservative governor. What they did last time when we had the recall is we had to sit through debates with Schwarzenegger and Huffington. What's her name? The founder of Huffington Post, whatever her first name is, the one with the voice, with the accent. And because she was running, who else ran during that? It was Schwarzenegger, Huffington. I can't remember, but it was a whole cast of characters that ran. So the first thing was you voted, did you want to recall Gray Davis, yes or no? And then if yes, who do you, well, it was, if the recall is found successful, then who do you want to vote for to take his place? So it's like you could vote, you could say, I'm against it, but if it goes through, I want this person. I have zero recollection of who I voted for. And don't remember what year that was. It wasn't right when I moved here. It was probably like 2002 or 2003. I mean, around that time. Those two cunts plus the other three faggots and they all sucked. That's probably about right. Well, my point is, why are they assuming that author of that article? It's like, well, Newsom's got to really do a lot. Like, why do you think that liberals wouldn't vote to recall him as well? I feel like everybody would vote to recall this guy, liberal and conservative. I wish I bought this. Yes, I wish I'd been into this months ago. Harold Wolf is back. Well, we haven't bought any shares yet, Harold. Anybody have any strong feelings about this? Now, you could also make an argument that we don't have to, we don't have to buy shares of this. We could look at all the markets, and maybe there's something else that's like a sure bet. You know what I mean? Maybe there's something that is like just definite, because they said that happens. They said, like, for instance, this guy being interviewed said sometimes you're able to buy on the yes side of something when it's pretty much all but wrapped up. You pretty much have a guaranteed win, so Giuliani pardoned before end of 2020. That's got to be closed, right? Because let's see what the rules are on this one. In 2019 or 2020, Trump will pardon Giuliani, granted if he appears on the official list of presidential pardons maintained by the U.S. Department of Justice's Office of the Pardon Attorney, available upon launch of this market. Okay, while the granting of such pardon must take place in 2019 or 2020, publication of an updated list reflecting such pardon need not occur by year end 2020. Settlement may therefore be delayed past the end date until such time as predicted is confident the settlement sources has been updated through such date. So this looks like, I wonder if this is one that, yeah, so we could still buy on this one, right? So all the, did Giuliani sell out Trump? I thought Giuliani's stayed by his side the whole time. Why do you guys think this is so strong in the no direction? Any theories? All right, maybe I'm boring you guys. I thought you guys would be into gambling on Predict It. I was thinking this could be my niche. If the social justice warrior niche doesn't work out, maybe predictit.org could be my niche. Yeah, even he's out on Trump now. I knew Pence bailed on Trump, but I'm just surprised that no one thinks he's going to pardon Giuliani before the end. All right, what else we got here? Anything here that you guys see that you feel strongly about? Will Trump be impeached again? This went down 6 cents. Do these update? I don't know if this screen updates in real time. It doesn't look like it does, right? Trends. So there's next cabinet makeup. With Trump to run again. Let's see what that one is. Oh, that's almost even money. You thought he was already pardoned? So I don't know. What's funny is maybe, like I said, sometimes they have these situations where things are all but wrapped up and you can still buy shares. I heard them talking about that. Pardon. Let's see. As of December 22nd, there's an article that says, will he pardon him? A month ago. Uh, okay, federal investigation of Giuliani very active in this report. So, looks like he's about to get fucked. I would love to watch Giuliani and Trump both end up in jail. That would be hilarious. And throw Obama and Bush and Clinton in there too. The only good one is Carter. Carter was a good guy. All right, let's see what else. We haven't done a story in a bit. I can't find any evidence that he's been pardoned. No, Jordan. He hasn't been pardoned yet. Nancy Mace of South Carolina shaken to her core by the riot. Well, Nancy Mace, you should have carried some mace. You would have been safe. Instagram, it extends Trump's ban indefinitely, and Facebook. Wow, look at that. Sad day for free speech. I despise Trump, but I'm a free speech absolutist. I mean, do we need to read the story? We get it. They fucking. His decision to use his platform to condone rather than condemn the action of his supporters at the Capitol building was rightly disturbed people in the U.S. around the world. Zuckerberg wrote, "We removed the statements. We judged that their effect and likely their intent would be to provoke further violence." All right, whatever. We get it. They suspended. They're. He's getting kicked out of everywhere. He should start his own platform. Well, he could just go to Parler. That's what Parler is, right wing Twitter. Look at this. This guy's calling first congressional Republican openly calling for removing Trump with 25th Amendment. Come on, guys. What do we think? Okay, when did that happen? That was 8:10 my time. What time is it? So okay, it's about 5 hours ago. And check it out, man. And hold on, let me go back to this. Well, impeached is different than 25th Amendment. Do they have a 25th Amendment thing here? Because that's not the same bet, I guess, huh? So I guess 25th Amendment is not, huh? So that might be why this went down in price. By the way, they might be thinking like, um, they're not going to impeach him. They're just going to fucking yank him out of there. Wow. Adam Kinzinger. Hold on a second. I said Kinzinger.
The ultimate zing.
Became the first Republican member of Congress to openly call for Trump's removal using the 25th Amendment. It was necessary to end this nightmare. Pence should begin initiating the removal process. Next few weeks are safe for the American people. We have a captain on the ship. Sadly, yesterday it became evident that not only did the president abdicate his duty to protect the American people in the people's house, he invoked and inflamed passions that only gave fuel to the insurrection that we saw. When pressed to move and denounce the violence, he barely did so, while of course victimizing himself and seeming to give a wink and a nod to those doing it. And all just good as a wink to a blind bat. And all are indications are that the president's become unmoored, not just from his duty, but from reality itself. Here's the truth. The president caused this. The president's unfit. The president is unwell. Kinzinger said, addressing conspiracy theorists who joined in the mob breaching the Capitol. Minority Leader Chuck Schumer called on Pence to begin 25th Amendment proceedings minutes later. Should not hold office one day longer. Surprised this isn't a bet I can place. The VP and cabinet refused to stand. If the VP and cabinet refused to stand up, Congress should convene to impeach the president, he said. Okay, so there's the bet. Will Pence and the cabinet move to do this, or will they impeach him? This is a tough bet to make. We're trying to do this together. You guys aren't helping me with my bets. Number of White House officials have been privately discussing invoking the 25th. Pence performed the duties until he is deemed fit until Biden is sworn in office in just under 2 weeks. Trump has a bunker mentality now. What do you think the comments are on this? How many wackos do you think are commenting on his video going, "We're not giving up"? Let's see. You just got yourself super untrusted. You used to seem to have a moral compass. Now it's just basically Team Trump and nothing else. Is James Lindsay a Trump guy? I love Trump. I mean, not Trump, Jesus Christ. I love James Lindsay, but not Trump. I would imagine James Lindsay is being funny here in some way. Huh. Let's see. Why is it that people quickly disregard things based around Trump? This movement people find themselves in is not about Trump. Making a mockery of it or belittling it only makes the movement grow. Normal people are tired of this division. I told you we wouldn't have to go long to get to wacky shit. The deep state was not satisfied with stealing the election. They must stamp out every last vestige of the populist challenge. See this? I told you that the comments would be fucking batshit crazy. There you go. All right. Let's go down trending Twitter. Oh, actually, but let's see here. So, I guess the bet is, do you think he's going to be impeached, or do you think they're going to use the 25th Amendment? He's got to be impeached, right? The market shall resolve the yes in the event the U.S. House of Representatives, by simple majority, votes to approve or pass one or more articles of impeachment of Trump between the launch. He said he's letting a smooth transition. Yeah, I saw that. So you think they're not going to bother because he's waving the white flag? So you think it's a no? That's the underdog. Should we buy some shares of no? I don't know. I wish I had bought this last night when I thought yes. I could have made a nice profit last night. Maybe I'll just wait for something else, something I have stronger feelings about. All right. I won't bore you anymore with. Well, this is 10:25. Oh, that was 10:25 in the morning. Okay. Get rid of that. I won't bore you guys anymore with predictit.org. I'll bore you instead with Twitter. Ba, 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 ba. Mr. Stampy. All right. Chuck Schumer, Emmanuel. Let's see. Ba, 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 ba. Don Winslow. Consider this. There's been no press conference from the FBI or any major law enforcement agency about an attack on the U.S. Capitol that left 4 dead, many others injured, and our entire U.S. Congress terrorists. What the fuck is going on? That is a good. I was wondering that too, actually. The one dude from the Capitol Police resigned. I know that. Gotta love Lance Burton. The journey of Ashley Babbitt. Ashley Babbitt, who cut off her husband's penis, thinking it was a flag. James Lindsay, an interview about the war on reality. What do we got over here? All right, let's do trending for me. Journalist Neil Shahan, who obtained the Pentagon Papers for the New York Times, died at 84. Wow. Well, that's when journalists were journalists. Now, if you do that kind of work like Assange or Snowden or Manning, they throw you in prison or you're exiled. They torture you in the case of Chelsea Manning. Ben Carson is trending. Ted Cruz killed a cop? What are you talking about? Like, should. Oh, right there. Okay, let's take a look. I'm a little slow. I was gonna. Ted Cruz guilty. So, okay, I know why they're saying this. They're saying because Ted Cruz supported this.
And we will not go quiet.
So, a police officer was hurt so badly in the riots yesterday at the U.S. Capitol, that he died of his injuries today. So, they're saying that Ted Cruz killed the cop because he supported this shit and the cop died.
Stand shoulder to shoulder with you as we defend the United States of America, as we defend our Constitution, as we defend our freedom, and we will not go quietly into the night. We will defend liberty into the future, and we are going to win.
Yeah, what a total piece of shit. He also objected to the fucking vote. Oh no. Am I gonna recover? Okay, cool. I thought my computer was gonna take a massive shit on me. That was almost the end of the cast right there. Yeah, absolutely. Ted Cruz is a total piece of shit. They came back out and said it was COVID that killed the officer. Yeah, that's what I said earlier. Yeah, they said everybody that died in the riots was all COVID. Here it is, and here's the story: police officer among 5 dead after pro-Trump mob storms U.S. Capitol. How is there no video of this? The Capitol Police confirmed Thursday night Officer Brian Sicknick died as a result of injuries sustained on duty. Ba, 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 ba. going to be investigated as a homicide. I saw that earlier. Well, they'll figure out who did it, man. I guarantee there's video somewhere. There's video of everything everywhere. He tapped out quick against Trump in 2016. Ted Cruz is a fucking pussy. Piece of garbage. They're all garbage. Seinfeld is trending for some reason. Ah, see this? New Yorkers stopped to watch the Seinfeld finale in Times Square, 1998. Gee, I know exactly where I was. I was at Caroline's Comedy Club watching it with Kenny Kramer. At the time, I was still working for Kenny Kramer, the real Kramer, whom I just spoke to. And let's see. But anyway, I it's just so funny. I just talked to Kenny. But yeah, I know exactly where I was. Okay. Two cabinet members, several White House officials resigned following violence at U.S. Capitol. Oh, yeah, I saw this. Here's a list of Trump administration resignations since the attack on the U.S. Capitol. Several, they handed in their resignations. Education Secretary Betsy DeVos, Transportation Secretary Elaine Chao. They were the first two members of Trump's cabinet to leave since the attack. Mick Mulvaney, Ryan Tully, Melania Trump. Melania Trump has resigned. Ivanka Trump has resigned. What a fucking shit show. What an absolute shit show. Good riddance. You know, he said he was Trump said he was going to clean out the swamp. Well, he did, I guess, because they're all leaving, they're all resigning. Although they wouldn't have been in there. The problem is he filled up the swamp first. He's only draining his own swamp. Oh my gosh. Simpsons are trending. Yeah, the Simpsons never fail. I had shared that on my Facebook. It's pretty great. It's amazing the Simpsons have done it all. Lucy Lawless. All right, let's check out regular trending. Regular trending's never as good as trending for me, I don't think. It's always K-pop. It's almost all entertainment and it's almost all K-pop. What did I tell you, by the way? I mean, number one, music trending. Ted Cruz killed a cop. NBA, number three, Jasmine. Happy birthday, Ray. Morgan Wallen. I mean, it's all entertainment. This is what you should be reminded that this is real life. See, when you're stuck in the trending for you tab, there's your echo chamber tab. And you're like, the whole world is talking about this. But then you go over to the trending tab for the real world and you go, oh no. You know, what most people don't give a fuck. Most people just care about NBA and K-pop and music and shit. Jerry Seinfeld. Pretty funny. Biden's going to make America seem like a joke, too. Oh, yeah, it's not going to get any better. Calls continue growing in Congress for Trump to be removed by impeachment or the amendments. So, God, I wish they had a bet for. I feel like the 25th Amendment's more likely. What do you guys think? It's not even a bet, but Olive Garden's trending. What did Red Band go there and never leave? Once again, thinking about Olive Garden's unlimited breadsticks and soup. That's pretty funny. What is going on? What's with Anderson Cooper and Olive Garden? Why is this trending today? You know what, man? I'll tell you what. I would kill to go to an Olive Garden right now. I haven't been to one in probably 25 years, but if you told me I could eat indoors, I'd go to a goddamn Olive Garden in a heartbeat right now. Yeah, you're exactly right. That was a me a Anderson Cooper. What is with Anderson Cooper? Anderson Cooper was called out yesterday in his comment about the terrorists going to Olive Garden and staying at the Holiday Inn. Oh, okay. So he was. I get it now. Thank you for finally explaining to me. So basically, it was a put down. He's basically saying the people that storm the Capitol are the kind of people that go to Olive Garden and stay at Holiday Inns. All right. How long is this? I'll bite.
Like chocolate sauce or caramel on. Great. Really delicious. There's nothing wrong with Olive Garden.
This guy's such a piece of shit. You're such human garbage, sir.
Let me just give a plug for Olive Garden. I like Olive Garden. I like their salad, unlimited, garlic breadsticks that are phenomenal. Some nights you get unlimited pasta. They got these hot donut-like things that you put like chocolate sauce or caramel on. Great.
Jesus Christ. Looks like Hannity knows the end is near since kissing the ass of a man who incites violence didn't working out for years. Be an Olive Garden influencer. I am fucking hungry. Hearing about Olive Garden didn't help. It's like, man, I know I'm gonna have a tuna sandwich. I think though, I do feel like eating some. What did I had a Red Baron pizza last night, so I got to do better tonight. Although I have a pot pie in there. I really want a pot pie. That's not good for you either. Oh, I'm gonna be such a fat fuck. No, no munchies, exotic gamer. I don't get the munchies. I don't even get high really that much. Today, this is the highest you're gonna see me because I went all day without smoking and only smoked for the cast. But I just haven't eaten today. I do it all the time. I go most of the day without eating most days. And that's the good thing about intermittent fasting. When I look high, really? That's cool. You do I drink? Not much. Sometimes. I mean, a few times a year I'll go off the rails, but you probably think I look high because I'm looking down at the monitor, and you probably think it makes my eyes look heavy because I'm looking at the monitor now and my eyes look high there. But if I look up, champagne and wine. I try to stick to, matter of fact, Reverend Carl taught me a long time ago. If you stick to beer and wine, you're generally safe. It's you start throwing liquor in the mix, but again, so usually beer, wine, and sake. I used to drink a lot many years ago. I stopped drinking a lot a long time ago, but again, there's been incidents. There's been ones I got drunk as fuck this last Sunday. This last Sunday, thank God I only had a little bit of whiskey because it's all we had left. But I drank a lot of wine and sake. I got so drunk, I bought video poker for winners. Remember? So it still happens from time to time. But yeah, I haven't really eaten today. But I'm thinking, do I want to make an egg sandwich or a tuna sandwich? I really want to order some food from this late night place that I shouldn't spend the money, but I am Bitcoin rich now since I more than doubled my investment, which was a donation from Jordan. Thank you, Jordan, for helping me get rich on Bitcoin. I'll be sure to share the wealth. I do not roll my joints with tobacco. No. I know that's what you fuckers in Amsterdam do. I do not do that. Hey, Gary and Dino. Check out Eddie Izzard just posted. 7 of 31 marathons completed. Jesus Christ. Oh, is he doing one a day? Is he doing it on a treadmill? I know it's a charity thing.
Wherever you are, we are on
Love Eddie Izzard.
7th of January. I'm running my 7th marathon. Today we are celebrating Athens in Greece, as you can see behind. It's just gone 12 in London time. Going to be talking to people today.
Why do you not get injured, Eddie? You just don't, do you? I mean,
Well,
I've done so many, I've filmed you in marathons, I've run with you a lot. I get aches and pains, but you just don't seem to do that.
Do you run marathons? I take it you've done some, if not all.
Yeah, I've done a few, and I have to say, the thought of doing 31 consecutively, I mean, I would struggle to do 2 consecutively. Just what it takes out of me, and that's why I think it's incredible, the mental challenge, let alone, I mean, the physical one's huge, but again, the mental one to have the fortitude
That's fucking amazing. 31 marathons in 31 days.
to do what you're doing.
Well, there's that, but imagine it
brilliant.
on the same treadmill. It's, outdoors at least you've got this, and there's a cat, there's a dog, there's a sunset, there's a this. And I've just got a machine wrapped around me. Done 40 kilometers, only 2K to go. And
I'm not sure why he didn't do it outside because of COVID.
Which is not too shabby.
And I have no idea if Eddie Izzard prefers to call he or she.
52 seconds to go. It's just like on those TV programs, isn't it? Thank you to everyone up in the gantry and the roof. Thank you to... All right, guys.
Nothing like giving yourself a rest, is there?
Yeah. Nothing like what?
Giving yourself a rest.
No, nothing like having 35 minutes.
Fucking amazing.
Okay, we're done. All right, thank you. Thanks, guys.
It sounds like even more in kilometers. Eddie Izzard's amazing.
Welcome to the seventh show. 7 brides for 7 brothers. I once ran 7 marathons in 7 days for 7 brothers, and that was, I kept saying that line, so I thought it was quite fun, but not really. I've run 7 marathons.
Pretty amazing. Oh, man. All right, guys. Well, it's been another fun night. Oh, Trump mulling self-pardon. But he still has legal problems in New York that he can't pardon himself from. I'm surprised that's not a bet. There should be a bet. Will he pardon himself? Huh. It looks like there's the only one still on Trump's side is Giuliani and Ted Cruz. Oh, wow. That's pretty cool. I found a secret. Now we're talking. Let's check this out. After a lengthy search, an urban explorer found the wreckage of an A12 ox cart that crashed outside of Area 51 in the 60s. It was the predecessor to the SR-71 Blackbird. That's a bad motherfucker. I built models of that plane. That's one of my favorite planes of all time, the SR-71 Blackbird. For a period of time, the CIA flew the A-12, which Lockheed Skunk Works developed in secret. Man, that's really cool. This CIA pilot was killed in the test flight, and this dude went out looking for it. The A-12 was shorter and lighter than the SR-71, but even faster. Wow. I didn't know that. It started in it still holds the record, Mach 3.29 at 90,000 feet. It's a record for air-breathing, jet-piloted aircraft. The SR-71 featured a considerably longer range. SR-71 flew until 1999. There was only 15 of these things, and they lost 2 of them in crashes. One that took Ray's life. Experienced rapid fuel loss, shut down of the aircraft engines, tried to bail out, hit the canopy, just like Goose. I'm making that part up. So this urban explorer went looking for it, and finally located the 42-year-old debris field. But it doesn't end there. Although the CIA eventually recognized Ray's sacrifice in the famous memorial wall at the agency's headquarters in Langley, Virginia had never publicly acknowledged the actual crash site where the pilot lost his life. So on a subsequent visit to the location, Kranz erected a memorial to Ray, including a miniature model of the A-12. That's pretty badass. Wow. That's fucking cool. I watch those urban explorer channels. There's this father-daughter team that goes out onto BLM land and uses Google Earth and checks, like they use Google Earth and shit and other tricks of the trade. I've figured out some of it to figure out where something, where there's something weird, and they put that shit in their GPS. They drive out there with their 4x4 and guns and all their shit, and they go and explore these places out in the desert. They find all kinds of cool shit, man. Military training stuff. It's called Explore With Us. It's a YouTube channel called Explore With Us. Love that channel. I haven't watched it in a long time. I don't know if they're still doing their thing. But before, so let's look at this. People are randomly getting vaccinated at pharmacies because extra doses need to be used before they expire. I'm going to go hang out I'm just going to go here. Let's, I might be able to use this. So let me start over. Let's see. This is from Business Insider. People are randomly getting vaccinated at pharmacies because of extra doses that need to be used before they expire. Now, okay, well, I think I've got an idea. I'm going to just go to my local pharmacy and just hang out and just hope that, they're like, oh no, we have some vaccine. It needs to be used in the next 10 minutes. Sir, have you been vaccinated? I have not. This was written by Andrea Mickelson. Sounds like she's hot just by that name. It sounds like a hot girl's name, Andrea Mickelson. So non-priority people are getting vaccinated ahead of scheduled when pharmacies have extra doses thawed. Some cases, vaccine providers are faced with the decision to throw out the extra doses when they expire or give them to random people. Other times, confusion about the amount of doses per vial and rumors of excess supply have led to mishaps in vaccine allocation. Boy, there's nothing that America can't fuck up, huh? Gotta love our broken bureaucracy. But no, let's keep making the government bigger and making the bureaucracy, larger, and let's not just get rid of all of this nonsense. If libertarians were in charge, this vaccine would be, everybody would have vaccine. It'd be like paper boys in the street handing out vaccine. Other times, there's confusion about the amount of doses per vial. Rumors of excess supply have led to mishaps in vaccine allocation. I know I read that. I wanted to just read it again. So, wow. It's happening all across the country. It's not that there's excess supply of vaccines overall, just that they need to be stored at cold temperatures and used within hours of thawing. And some cases, pharmacies and hospitals find themselves with leftover doses at the end of the day, and either they throw them out or they offer them to just randos. It's kind of like last call at the bar. It's like, oh man, well, there's only 10 minutes left and they're going to turn the lights on in this place. I better find me a fat girl to take home before I sober up and I can get too good of a look at her. The federal government hasn't specified what they should do. And so some providers just took things into their own hands. Wow, imagine that, making a decision on your own without the permission of your nanny government. So they've just offered the leftovers to local first responders, pharmacy staff, the occasional average person who happened to be in the right place at the right time, like Joe Walsh, average, ordinary guy. News of extra doses at Louisville, Kentucky Walgreens reached the Mastersons by word of mouth on Christmas Eve. Friend called us. We ran right up. Pure luck. He and his wife, undergoing chemo for stage 4 cancer, each got a dose of the Pfizer vaccine at Walgreens that day. Pharmacy chain's been contracted to supply vaccines to long-term care facilities in Kentucky. A lot of people don't know this, by the way. Kentucky's nickname is the Slippery State, hence KY Jelly. KY Gel. Anyway, the amount of vaccine doses requested by facilities exceeded the actual need. Caruso told the outlet the situation was an isolated occurrence. Governor Andy Beshear confirmed a similar incident took place at Walgreens in Lexington, Kentucky. Well, maybe it's a Kentucky issue. Maybe people in Kentucky are just retarded. The reaction wasn't what it should have been, Beshear told the Courier-Journal, referring to both incidents. Now, I do believe it came from a good place. Yes, they didn't want any of it to go to waste, but should have been done differently. What? Law student got lucky in Washington, D.C. Well, we know they're retarded in D.C. as well. Pharmacist was like, hey, you and your buddy want a Moderna vaccine? And he was like, hey, we're not gay. And even if we were, why are you assuming that we have AIDS? And the pharmacist was like, no, this is for the Rona. And he was like, oh, all right. By the way, we are gay, but we don't have AIDS, but thanks for the vaccine. She was like, no problem. Anyway, not all the healthcare workers who were scheduled to get the dose the day they showed. So yeah, of course they put it on TikTok. And then posted the video, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes it's a misallocation. Hundreds of elderly people in Tennessee were turned away from getting the Rona vaccine on New Year's Eve, only for health officials to call their family and friends to get their shots later that day. Oops. Hamilton County Health Department tweeted telling people to please leave the line now and return at another time, just over an hour after vaccinations began. The line was so long it reached the highway. Well, does anybody use the highway in Hamilton County? I doubt it. Then they realized they had more thawed vials that need to be used, so they were like, hey. So, okay, there's story after story. It happened at a Stanford hospital. And so, look, shit happens. Of course, you knew there was going to be fuck-ups. Be glad you got a vaccine. Stop bitching about everything. Just learn to meditate, stay in the present, and watch some porn. Be glad you're still alive. Be glad there's a vaccine, and stop being a fucking whiny pussy. Fuck yeah, I want to go see you in Holland. We're not. I don't think we're allowed out of the country, though, are we? CIA, FBI must be happy now with Trump gone. I would think so. I would think the deep state is glad that he's gone. I bet the military industrial complex is glad that he's gone too. But I'm glad he's gone. I just want them all to be gone. That's the problem. They all need to go. And we get the money. I'll tell you, and the thing is, we got to get the money out of politics so it's no longer a viable career. And the way you get money out of politics is by making the people running the government powerless. And you make them powerless by taking by getting rid of the bureaucracy and shrinking government, libertarian values with, instead of crony capitalism, real free market, true free market capitalism, not crony capitalism, which is what we have now. So I believe that. I believe, if we had real true capitalism and the government didn't have any power, there'd be no reason to lobby these jerk offs because they wouldn't have the power to do anything for you. And if they didn't have the power to do anything for you, we'd get the money out of politics. We can go back to bribing people the good old fashioned way, one-on-one, not through proxies. We don't need to bribe. We don't need proxies for our bribery. We don't need a middleman to, bribe you to get you to do something for it. We just bribe people directly. Anyway, guys, I am hungry. I'm going to get something to eat. I would love it if you would hit the thumbs up button on your way out. That would be really cool. Love it if you subscribe to the channel, hit the little notification bell and hit all. And then you'll know whenever I upload a new video or I go live. I pretty much do it all the time, pretty much every day. Not usually on the weekends, but maybe on the weekends sometimes. You don't know. Have a great day at work, Harold. Appreciate your support. Of course, I'd love it if some of you would join the Zach Waldman fan club. I'd love to add your name to the list of supporters below. Go to zachwaldman.com/fans to get exclusive, uncensored content, easy to do magic tricks, fun bar bets that will win you more in free drinks than the cost of the fan club. Plus, there's all kinds of free things you could do on the page to support me. And I would appreciate that. Jordan Palmer, thank you for your support. I think you're still here. I'm going to assume he is. I appreciate you very much. And I appreciate having Harold here. He's become a new regular of the show, so that's super cool. Harold, my goal is to get 1,000 members of the Zach Waldman fan club. That's the goal. That's all I'm looking for. It doesn't seem like a big number. And so I'm doing it one by one, my friend. And so you're a part of that journey here. Hope you become a member of the fan club. But I appreciate you just being here for the live show because, trust me, more people in the chat, more people watching, participating, helps with the algorithm, helps the show grow live, the live show grow. So thank you. I appreciate anything you do, man. I just appreciate you being here, watching and interacting in the chat. That is all awesome. Of course, I'm going to play you out with a little Reverend Carl because that's the way we always do it here. I hope you have a beautiful night. Stay safe. As always, I love you all more than chocolate cake, and I'll see you soon. 1, 2, 3.
It's 2 a.m., 14 below, it's closed. My work is done, but I'm feeling low, and I wanna play the night away, the night away. I can't stand to be alone. I gotta bring over some people to fill up my empty home. Yes, I do. Yes, I do now. I'm having a party, having a party, having a party. I'm having a party, people. And a party, people. Well, well, well. Put out the word to the chosen few. I got the SMC, my friends. Bring your choice of brews, your choice of brews. The buzz is on and the mood is set. The candles burn as the turntables turn by the TV set. Yes, they do. Yes, they do now. Having a party, having a party, having a party, having a party, people, having a party, people. smooth. While in the mirror he's busting moves till he finds his groove. Till he finds his groove. Johnny Poet is feeling numb. He's gonna drink until the sunlight comes out to play. He's always running away. Where are your shoes today now? Having a party, having a party, having a party. We having a party, people. A party, people. And everybody's getting down now. Party people, having a party, having a party. We having a party, people. And a party, people. Having plenty fun. He's been drinking them 21s like they're going out of style. A jungleberry scabbing tails. He'll smoke all the weed you have if you let him away with it. I let him away with it. I let him away with it. Away with it. Away with it now. Having a party. Having a party. Having a party. We having a party. Dressed in plain, he'd like to bop the night away, cause he's come a long way from that Ventura County. Girly girl by the telephone, she's been waiting on a man to call so she can share her love, share her love.